Hello everyone, I'm Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. Welcome to Species Center Stage for Thursday, April 13th, 2023. This week we are featuring Nebula, one of our boa constrictors, actually our only boa constrictor. Nebula is a boa imperator, Boa Sigma cross. According to his breeder, Vin Russo, Nebula's sire was a Salmon Boa imperator, and his dam was a Hypo Sonora heterozygous for Leopard, Boa Sigma. So Vin Russo described Nebula as a mutt. Nebula was born on July 24th, 2019, and arrived here on May 28th, 2020. After having been delayed by FedEx, so he was actually in transit for 48 hours instead of the normal 12 to 24 hours, which is what it should be when being shipped hub to hub in the United States. He was 10 months old when he arrived and really cautious and shy. He did pick up target training immediately and he quickly progressed through the steps. But that has really been the only interaction I've had with him until recently, when he has chosen to start seeking engagement with the environment outside of his enclosure. So for the past 3 years, I've managed him by targeting him to shift in and out of his habitat when needed, or by moving him in a shift box when necessary. However, now he's coming out of his habitat on his own at random times, and when I'm not asking him to. He's going to be 4 years old in July of this year, 2023, and I find with some boas and pythons who start out being cautious or what I would describe as shy, that when they get around this age, around 3.5 to 4.5 years old, they seem to start displaying an increased level of confidence and just start to venture out on their own. From this point forward, I expect I will be able to engage Nebula in more challenging training exercises, and I'll start to work with him on touch and handling to see how he tolerates that. In Vin Russo's book, The More Complete Boa Constrictor, which was published in 2019, and which I will provide a link to in the YouTube video description, he reports that Sonoran leopard boas are a very small boa who reach about 5 feet or about 1.5 meters in length. So when Nebula was out exploring on March 25th, 2013, which was when I filmed the footage you're seeing now, I tried to gauge his length based on things he was stretched out on or next to. The white pet gate is connected at 2-foot intervals, so each section is 2 feet long. The maroon rectangular bag containing a folded up exercise pen is 3 feet long, and the wire dog exercise pen he stretched over the top of is 4 feet long. Based on him crawling across those things, I am estimating that he is a little over 4 feet long, but not quite 4.5 feet long. He's currently living in a 4x2x2 foot black box cages enclosure, so that's 48 inches wide by 24 inches deep by 24 inches tall. Although it's a black box cages enclosure, it is not black. I prefer the white color, so he is in a white PVC enclosure with front opening doors. Inside the enclosure, he has a shelf, a sky hide, ground hides, a humid hide, a swimming area, separate drinking water, basking rocks, and a large, thick log that runs diagonally from the bottom corner up to the top corner. He spends the majority of his time in his sky hide or on his log. His enclosure has an Arcadia UVB light bar, and it is heated with a 25-watt halogen bulb. All his heating and lighting is turned off at night. The ambient temperature in the room averages 78 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and 68 to 74 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Yes, I do not do well with or like the cold, so I keep our house that warm. During his exercise session out of his enclosure, when this was filmed, Nebula initially went from his enclosure to the floor, but quickly started moving up in the room and ended up spending the majority of the several hours that he was free roaming up as high as he could get on top of one of the activity stations. Boa Sigma are native to the areas in and around western Mexico, and Boa imperator are found in South America. You can learn more specifics about their geographic range in the book I will reference in the description. Boa constrictors are, as the name would imply, a non-venomous constrictor snake. Nebula has eaten every prey type I've ever offered him, which has been rats, mice, gerbils, quail, chicks, and various kinds of reptilinks. I typically feed him every 3 to 4 weeks, but if he remains more active and is coming out more often for exercise, he may start getting fed more often. I will say that while he is very slow in his movements as he's roaming around and even as he's shifting during target training, that when the actual striking of the prey occurs, it is super fast and it is super hard. It is rare that he doesn't explode his prey item when he grabs it and constricts it, and that includes all of the prey items that I mentioned. Nebula's training target is a bright royal blue circle attached to a stick, and he does not have any particular designated shift or station that's his. He learned very quickly to generalize the targeting behavior to move on to whatever was nearby. His color and pattern are interesting. Nebula's base color, especially on his belly and sides, appears to actually be salmon, which is really weird if you're used to eating salmon fish because it's really actually the same color. It looks identical. He does have some darker red high up on his body, and he has sort of a lighter stripe down part of his back. And then he has some black spots that remind me of a banana python regis over parts of his body. He has some beautiful black facial markings around and near his eyes, and his tail has a really beautiful blotched pattern. In my personal opinion, his face and tail are his prettiest features. Well, that's about it. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.